You know what I do want to help?
Thank fucking God.
Blenderlyland's podcast.
We
Oh,
saw it
man.
coming. We could see through your lies.
God.
Here we go.
You know what's been awful is trying to stay up to watch Worlds live. Absolute worst thing.
You know why I haven't had that problem is because I just watch the VODs.
Same.
I just go to bed and then I wake up and then I'm good and then I watch the VODs when I have time.
Oh man. So we got whatever you want to call this play-ins, because dear Lord was that crazy. You got the knockouts to qualify into groups from play-ins. Then you got Jesus Christ, these groups. I don't want to talk about these groups because it makes me sad to think about how TSM gets out of this group, but whatever.
You're just mad.
I am quite mad.
You're worried about your group? You're worried about
Haymant, you
your
didn't have a
group.
chance when you walked in the door.
Shut the fuck up. Sequest all day. Don't
Guys,
worry.
I'm not
Next
worried about
week,
my
this
group.
is gonna be pure salt.
What did
I'm not
Fleckress
worried
say
about
they
it.
would do if they won?
I think it was like 10 million shit donated to I don't fucking
They were
know.
gonna
I didn't
donate
look at the
10
article.
million trees?
No, they were
they
gonna
did that.
donate 10 million souls. No,
They did 10,000 trees last split, even though they lost, and I think $10,000 to the Coral Reef Alliance.
and of course
right,
Anthony hates this because Anthony again does not like helping other people.
The community can go fuck itself, unless it's community with Donald Glover.
I think he still doesn't care about that because he's a hater.
Fuck.
I just don't watch the show, but okay.
Well, you just hate
Unfortunate, can't
community.
save him
so I
anymore.
was like,
Resident Prophet and Hater in the chat, but here's how
not
we're gonna.
a resident prophet. You're bad.
Okay, here's how we're gonna take it. We're gonna talk about plans like this. We're gonna go day by day and talk about the progression of the stage, and then we're gonna talk about a little bit of the individual matchups and the knockouts, and then we're gonna move on to groups after that.
All right.
So let's get started.
Sounds good.
By talking about day one. Day one, we had the first 2 days were a gigantic smattering of games. Day one, there was 5 games. You had Mad versus INTZ, PSG versus Rainbow 7, LGC versus INTZ, LGD versus PSG, TL versus Mad. Now, I think the number one story on this day was that PSG, with 3 substitutes, were able to take down LGD, and LGD looked like the worst team at the tournament so far. Out of all, 8 teams or 7 teams that played that day, they looked like the worst team by a large margin. And when you're competing with Brazil, Oceania, CIS, they didn't play that day.
No love for
Latin America, or as we like to call them, the North American 4th seed.
Jesus Christ.
So it's really hard to have faith in that team after this showing on this day. And I coming into this, I'm like, oh my god, is LGD not going to make it out? What do you guys think after the day one games?
I was still worried about it. Really looked like they were trying to warm up or something because what was it? That one play that I was telling you about earlier happened in the INTZ versus Mad Lions game, and I was like, I don't know if that's gonna just swing that entire game that way. Right? That was the first game of the series. One misplay happens, and it's like, bam. All right, well, there's a tone. PSG Talent versus R7. Beautiful game, actually. It was great to watch PSG Talent. It looked like they just came together, and they were like, screw it. We're going to come out swinging. We're going to go just ape shit. Kai Wing on the Bard, also very great. Was he playing Bard that game? I believe he was playing Bard that game. Yeah, he was. He almost died several times in a 3v2 and just didn't, and it tilted R7 so badly. It was wonderful to see. I'm trying to remember the other games now. Let's take a look back at the schedule. What do you think about the R7 versus PSG game?
I gotta remember that game. There's a lot of games, guys.
There were a lot. Fellas, there were a lot.
I don't have them all pulled up easily. Wait, is there a way
Just
I can
go
just
to
look
the
at the match
schedule.
history for Worlds?
Yeah, if
Match
you look
history,
at the
there it is.
standings for Squirrel and then just click on the matchup, it'll bring up the VOD, which is the great part.
PSG versus R7. Oh, was that when the Camille just went absolutely bonkers?
It was when PSG just went bonkers.
I-
It didn't just have to be the Camille.
This Camille pick was absolutely insane. Like
Mhm.
it was crazy. I did not expect Camille to be that strong going into this tournament, yet it is. Like I thought that Camille was in the dumpster, but everyone's out here pulling out Camille like nobody's business. And that, if Camille is in the meta, that means Poppy comes up in priority. And I think we saw that a little bit towards the end of play-ins. They started counterpicking with Poppy, and I think that will transition into group stage. But overall, I think a lot of what made PSG do really well is the synergy between Kangyu and Uniboy. They were like they were so good. They together they basically carried the entire team with D trying to drag them down. Like D hadn't played in a year, put up a great performance for given the circumstances, but he was definitely the worst player on this team. And swapping him out, I made this team better. The only problem is they had to swap out both Kangyu and Uniboy.
Kanye was
groups,
famously
and that's
a professional League of Legends player.
Yes.
That's unfortunate. Also, something that we're gonna have to talk about later is gonna be the set in the mid lane. That has also been appearing pretty often, as well as that PSG talent in the game. But that's a bit of a later pick. Let's move on to LGC versus versus INTS.
We're not gonna talk about them individually in depth because we're gonna be here forever if we do that to all like 30 of these games.
True.
Oh, honestly,
I don't actually want to spend the rest of my life here.
Okay, fair enough. I was pretty disappointed with INTZ. I didn't really see that much of a performance from them. They're from Brazil, I guess, but I wanted something a bit more from them. There wasn't anything that.
I can definitely agree with that. I thought they would be more competitive. Brazil always seemed to be like the second team to Turkey, but at this point, Brazil seems to be falling off. Whether that's because of something going on in the region or because maybe the global climate affected them adversely compared to some of the other teams, or this team just wasn't up to snuff this year. It really surprised me that Brazil didn't do well, and they've been on a downtrend, it appears. And I liked watching Brazil. Brazil seemed like they were one of the regions that was gonna contend to become a new major region, but it doesn't seem to be happening anytime soon at this rate. Though Turkey definitely looks like they could start putting up an argument for becoming a major region, and it's the CIS can continue to post entrances in a group consistently. They can definitely get a second seed.
Okay. So let's see. We're definitely disappointed with INTZ on day one. The next person to go to, LGD, had also played a game against PSG Talent later that day. Which wasn't. Okay, help me recall it a
big
bit.
yikes from LGD.
Did they just chuck their lead in the mid game? Because I'm honestly misremembering it a little bit.
They chuck a lot of things all the time.
Did it especially happen here, or was it just outplay?
Hang on, let me check the gold graph real quick. Yeah, they chucked that lead super hard. They lost 2 team fights right in a row. And the game went right out the window.
Just right there. The one at the Ocean Drake was the first one. And then just...
It's been a bad
terrible.
time. So,
especially with the lead that they had.
I think the other notable thing that happened day one was probably TL versus Mad. Because TL just walked out and absolutely demolished Mad.
Why would that be notable? Isn't that what you expected to happen?
I don't know. That might be a little notable. But as we all said, we thought Mad was going to get out of this group. Actually, let me turn that on. Play-ins picks. I had them on a rotating thing. So, everyone thought they were going to get out of this group. We thought they were going to be first. But that did not happen.
Not at all.
They walked into the room, and whoever the hell's name is Shadow in this tournament gets blasted.
Mhm.
Every person named Shadow got blasted in this tournament. Like, no exceptions.
Oh, the support for INTZ, the jungler for Mad Lions.
Real bad. But,
Uh-huh.
oh my god, Mad Lions just... I don't know what they were doing coming into this. They have... Everyone thinks that EU is such a great region. And they put up this 4th seed. And I'm just like, are they really? Because every team almost... I think G2 lost to this team at the beginning of their playoffs. I think they got put into losers by that. And it's not like Golden Guardians are here, and you can say the same thing about TSM. TSM then went on to win every single best of 5 after that. And in all of their wins, it was a very dominating, constant fighting style. Whereas Mad Lions, I don't get that from them. That's not what I was seeing from them. And it really showed here at Worlds. They didn't play with any sort of control. They just sort of played to have a lucky win, and it just didn't pan out.
No, but on the opposite side, I really enjoyed watching Team Liquid play. Tactical breaking out the Twitch, flashing forward multiple times. Impact woke up, right? This was the Impact that we had wanted to see during the playoff stage that we didn't see. Him on that Mordekaiser getting those flanks, it was great. It was wonderful.
God. Watching that Mordekaiser, I'm just like, yes, get them, kill them all.
Exactly.
I've never been so satisfied.
Everyone was firing. Oh yeah, Broxa, Impact, Core JJ. You could name everyone on the lineup and say they were performing. Jensen had his usual performance. He's always been the solid rock that's been there on TL besides Core JJ. And it was great. It was wonderful to see. And Tactical just popped off on the Twitch. You got to give him credit for it. You got to give him a ton of credit for how often he just solo killed people.
Matt, how'd you feel about TL's performance before we move on to day 2?
Oh, I was hoping they'd fail, but no, I'm kidding mostly.
He's just jealous they took.
You guys were complaining about your team's groups earlier, but honestly, I feel pretty good about mine. I don't think we're going to lose a single game.
You mean alone at home?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to lose a single game when we're not playing them. TL, I think I agree with what Haymant said about Impact, but I think I'm cautiously optimistic. Is what I'll say. I'm too scared because of NA Worlds past.
Hey, remember, it's week 2. Week 1, we got everything to look forward to. Week 2, we gotta watch out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But we're coming up on week 2 in the near future. So my issue is that, yeah, cool, it went well, but man, there's more to go. So my attitude towards most NA teams right now is just, like I said, cautiously optimistic. TL seemed good. I'm cautiously optimistic about TSM. But I'm also just never surprised if our region decides to just absolutely chuck for some ungodly reason.
I don't know what you mean. TSM always goes 3-3 and loses a goddamn tiebreaker. Meanwhile, C9 wins their tiebreaker, and somehow they're 10 times better. Just saying.
Yeah, but we're not here. We're not. You don't get that this time. So unless it's Fly coming out of the fucking clutch, which I don't think is gonna happen.
I mean, if FlyQuest still have High's broom in the back closet, they might be able to whip it out.
Honestly, true. But realistically, I'm cautiously optimistic. I think we had a pretty good first week with TL, and I'd like to see it. I'd like to see them get further. But
it looks like they definitely improved over the play-ins, minus that INTZ game. All right, let's talk about day 2. Day 2, we saw the introduction of V3, Supermassive, and UOL. I think V3 is a Japanese team, Supermassive is the Turkish team, and UOL is the CIS team. What do we think about these?
I can't get over UOL not being LEC.
Oh, they moved.
Every time I hear it, I'm like, yes, Europe. Oh, no, wait.
It's unfortunate. Everyone in Europe still thinks of them as being part of Europe. Doesn't matter if they moved. All right.
So, I was rather impressed by Supermassive. I'm a little sad they didn't get to move on, but them's the breaks. There can only be 4 teams, and there are 10 teams here, so This isn't NA playoffs, man. You don't got 8 teams moving on.
LO.
Oh yeah, I was very happy with them. Cacao put up a great performance. Snowflower showed up on day 2. It was very nice. Armut, I wasn't Armut and Bolulu. Bolulu I've heard of, not too heavily. Zeitnot I've also heard of, not too heavily. They performed pretty well. I don't know. I think they were a good team all
I
around.
hadn't heard of those players, but
You've
I'm
heard of
glad you
Cacao.
had.
Cacao's been
Have I?
around.
Yes.
Cacao's been in like EU.
Okay, where did I hear about Cacao?
Korea.
I actually have
He's
no
a-
recollection.
He's like was he the world's best jungler like season 4, season 5, somewhere around there? Cacao was crazy. He's an old player. He
Yeah.
used to play. He's an LCK player. He I forget what team he used to play on.
How do you spell Cacao?
Kakao.
God damn it! I forget what team he's on. There it is.
I found it.
What team was he on?
He was on KT Rolster, Junior Green,
Yes.
APK. Oh, maybe I have heard of Cacao. Anyway.
You definitely have. He's in a song that Monty made a long time ago.
Oh, I didn't ever listen to those.
Oh no.
I valued my time and sanity.
What else? I think this day really cemented that LGD was just looking like hot garbage. Because they then lost to Rainbow Seven this day, and when you lose to Latin America in a fashion that makes it look like Latin America know how to play League of Legends at a competitive level on the world stage, like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Does this mean Latin America can take 4th at frickin' LPL? Is that what happens right now? Because that would be insane to me if you just actually took all the first seeds, put them into the LPL, and they just start competing for like playoff victory. Like, that would be amazing. I'd love watching. I want that league.
No, I don't know what happened to LGD during this time, but I don't think that's what would happen if you put them in the LPL. I mean, yeah, in the LPL. I just think either it might have been, we didn't get enough sleep or something. Times up. Actually,
They live there!
There's no travel. I don't know. Peanut was sick. I can't figure it out. But LGD was just sleeping the entire time. They might as well had jet lag. It was the entire trip right over to the next stadium.
Where
God
is
damn.
the LGD has a stadium in China? I want to know what city it's in.
But that is still kind of besides the point. They lost to Rainbow Seven, which was not the look that you'd want. Unicorns of
live,
Love.
like, right next to them.
Mm-hmm.
They're real close.
I was also very happy about the Unicorns of Love, especially their jungler, Ananahak?
Ananasik.
Ananasik.
It's pineapple in like every other language besides English.
Ananasik. All right.
I respect that name. Pineapple, good word, good fruit.
All right, Ananasik and No Man's were definitely just popping off during these series here.
Mm-hmm. I was definitely loving UOL. I was really looking forward to see UOL play PSG, but they never got to play a best of 5 because one of them gets to win out. But the tiebreaker between them was pretty good. I think.
Oh man.
I think that like UOL is definitely making a good case for a second seed from the CIS, but I feel like the CIS as a region is too unstable, like, internally. I don't think they can ever actually put up more than one competitive team, unlike Vietnam, which I think can put up 2 competitive teams. I don't even know if is it PCS where PSG comes from? Yeah, the PCS. I don't know if the PCS can put up 2 competitive teams. I think this PSG team was a gigantic fluke, and I don't know how they're gonna do in groups after losing the 2 best players on that team, and I don't know how Machi's gonna do in the groups too. Like, when I say I don't know, I mean I don't know how they're going to do well. Like, it's hard for me to come out here and say, yeah, they're gonna do great. They're gonna make some good moves. I think they're gonna be competitive because it just doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make sense for them to compete with all the other teams in groups, like in any group. The other thing that I noticed this day is that Japan really can't step it up. Like they made it a little bit further last year, but this year they just got pushed out by LGD in a tiebreaker, and I was kind of underwhelmed. I had much more faith in Detonation Focus Me last year, and V3 just aren't doing it for me. I don't feel like they have much of a future. I don't want to say they have much of a future, but like I don't feel like Japan is gonna keep growing like this. It's the same vote.
Do you mean like much
Brazil.
of a future Simpliciter or like in this tournament?
Well, definitely in this tournament because they're eliminated. But I mean, like,
well, yeah, obviously, but you know,
like in the same way that I think Brazil is downtrending, I feel like Japan's downtrending, and Japan has such a small player base as it is. I don't know how they can come back from being in this position. They need something to boost them, and importing Korean players is probably not it. Anything else about day 2 before we move on? No?
Interestingly enough, Legacy Esports had lost to Team Liquid, and they were also a team that had done surprisingly well. Well, that's going to be in the future, but within their groups. Just wanted to make a note of that.
Yeah, but I do think that TL, they definitely played their really standard style of not being too overly aggressive and trying to play for slow late control, and it's hard to really beat them when you let them play to their comfort.
Oh yeah, TL was on a hot streak, as you can see from their final standings at the end of the group, 4-1.
Okay, what? We ready to move on to day 3? All right. So day 3 is all about Group B, because they have to do tiebreakers at the end, so they don't want the schedule to get too long.
What?
Yeah. I don't like that they do it this way, but it's whatever. Okay.
I get it.
So, what we got is LGD finally beat a team. They beat Japan.
Yep.
It wasn't convincing. Did beat Japan. It was not very convincing of a victory.
It was a competitive game, and that's not what you want to see from this. Not at all.
So, when they won this game, it put them in a position where V3 needed to beat PSG to eliminate them. Or wait, hang on. Was it to put them? Was it to put them to a tiebreaker?
Put them to a tiebreaker, probably.
Okay. No. Because no, I think V3 needed to win some. Oh, they beat R7. Never mind. Yeah. So V3 had to lose to get to a tiebreaker and not eliminate LGD. So this is the moment where I want PSG to lose and kick out LGD once and for all. But
why do you want that?
Because who doesn't want to kick out an LPL team right now? It shakes up the group placements too. The same thing happens with Mad. But that didn't happen. And instead we got 2 tiebreakers at the end of today. But LGD did not come out of this day looking at all good. They looked so bad. When the only team you can beat is the team you then have to play a tiebreaker against, I have very little faith in your ability to progress. Which they did do, to their credit, but I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna do in the best of ones in group stage. It looks like they're much more comfortable in a best of series, but I cannot say I think LGD are gonna go far. So, what else did you guys think of this group? Let me find the final standings. Okay, there it is. Hey, Mom, what did you think of this group? Group B.
Group B? No, I always PSG Talent just surprised everyone's expectations. That's it. They came out of nowhere and they were just rock solid, kept on playing their style.
Rock Solid hasn't been a team in a long time. What are you talking about?
Oh damn, you're absolutely right. I can't disrespect Iris like that.
Correct.
And I don't know. It's also
Iris
interesting
was on Epic
that
Gamer. What?
Dyrus was on Epic Gamer? I swear it was on Rock Solid too.
He might have been on for a few tournaments, but he wasn't a main player. That was Skara and Amacutie.
It was also Voyboy and Chat and Cutie and Locust and Rambo.
Oh,
it was never Dyrus. It was Dignitas, basically.
Yeah.
The Dignitas boys. Okay. Unfortunately, I can't recall as much of this day as I'd like to.
Well,
you're gonna have.
So I was more asking about the general placement of the team. I agree. I think the PSG thing was like it really shook up this group. UOL getting out second was really. I want to say it was expected because I think we all picked UOL to get out second. Wait, hang on. No, UOL got out first. What happened? Hang on, because this doesn't show me the result of the tie. Here we go. No, UOL got second and won the best of 5. I think we all said that in our picks. If I can just page through this real quick. Yes, we did. Every single one of us said they would, and I feel like that's expected. PSG smashed this group. They broke it wide open, and I think Mad Lions losing out actually let LGD through. Because if you don't have Mad Lions or TL as those top 2 teams, it's kind of a joke for LGD to win out. Because they can actually like start playing League of Legends.
Okay. It would be interesting to see a series between Mad Lions and LGD.
It would be. But we don't get it now. Thank you,
more interest. It would have been more interesting to see the one versus TL.
Alright. Matt, what did you think of this group before we move on to the day 4?
Good question, buddy. I don't know most of these teams before this, so I come in with basically no expectations or thoughts. But it was okay. I mean, it wasn't like insane to me, right? But like, oh wait, are we talking about which one are we fucking talking about now?
Group B.
We're talking about
B.
Talon.
Okay, that's what I thought we were talking about. For whatever reason, I'm an idiot is really what happened just there. And I was like, did I just space out through all of B and C? Are we on D?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So, okay. It was okay. I didn't really pay that close of attention to it, to be honest, because when it comes to Worlds, I just have like limited brain capacity for this game.
There's
and I can't.
Many games.
There's so many games.
A lot.
There's so many games, and I just like can't. I just can't. I gotta look at the ones like if I know, even if I'm not a fan of the team, if I know it, I'll pay more attention. So something like Group B, where like I'm just not like I know like damn one or whatever, but like I don't really like know anything, so I was just kind of coasting through it. But it looked fine. I'm excited to see the teams progress or some platitude.
Okay.
Basically, if I watch every single game in high focus, I would die. So I didn't.
All right, we got day 4, which is the Group A day, where you got Team Liquid finishing 3-1, and it looked pretty good from them. I thought the INTZ game looked a little shaky. I'm not really sure what happened with it. Like, it's really hard for me to make a strong declaration that INTZ were the better team in that team, or if TL were just kind of like trying something because they wanted to. Not that I think their comp was all that like new for them. I think that Lilia is very over prioritized, and that's what they ended up picking this game. Like in general, I think Lilia has like a garbage win rate at Worlds right now, and it's honestly hilarious to me. But it just, I don't know. I feel like INTZ took a more aggressive comp than TL were willing to play, and then they got punished for it. It was that simple, and that I feel like is their only misstep, was not being able to kind of draft perfectly. There's been a lot of drafting mistakes. I think drafting mistakes is the number one thing about this play-in stage. Like, if everyone could clean up their drafting, the games would probably be at like 10%, 15% more competitive. But there's just so many drafting mistakes. It's amazing.
I'm a bit more surprised to see Broxa pulling out the Lilia in this game. I don't really. I do know he plays aggressive junglers. I know he plays Rek'Sai, Lee Sin, Graves, but I don't know. For some reason, I always never think of him as being a person who plays aggressive junglers, which is the weirdest part.
Well,
so Lilia. Well, I'm surprised it's in his wheelhouse. I maybe should expect it a bit more. Yeah, maybe he just wanted to try it out that day, but it doesn't seem to be pairing well.
yeah,
We'll find out more about it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely see in group stage. For all we know, group stage it'll actually just start turning on and killing everybody. But it looked underwhelming. I think the other team I was surprised that did really well here was LGC, the OCE team that almost did.
Mm-hmm.
It was they finished second, and man, oh wait, no, they did play a tiebreaker. I'm sorry. Yeah, so
Yeah.
they had to play a tiebreaker against TL, and even in that tiebreaker, it looked pretty good. I want to say OCE is good, but I honestly can't. They have some good players, but I don't think they've ever been able to field a team that has been able to play consistently. I think
The weirdest.
what
Mhm.
go.
The weirdest part is that every time it comes to Worlds, it looks like Oceania steps up. It looks like they actually pull out some good plays. Um, if you remember, if you forget about his split in the NA right now, Ryoma was formerly on the Bombers, who had came from Oceania, which had also put up a good performance at Worlds, right? So it's like they do have some talent there. It's just a matter of how do you actually grow it, or how do you actually get it to compete on either another place, or how do you get it to compete at Worlds?
Mm-hmm.
But-
I feel like the OCE is in a it's like they're stuck. They've been running in circles for years. They haven't been able to put up a team with a lot of traction in the international stage, and if you can't do that, then your players are just gonna start getting poached by NA, and that's what's happening. So I think a lot of the OCE players are gonna start going to NA, and maybe that will serve as a bit of a motivator for some players to come up in Oceania, but I'm not so sure. If we can find more FBIs, it'll be great.
Mhm.
But if we find more Ryomas, it's gonna be not so great. That's all I'm saying.
Man. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Also,
What?
we can't forget that Team Liquid also solidified themselves as definitely being the top of the group, beating Supermassive, who had a previous hot streak before. We want to make a note of that, and also beating out Legacy Esports to solidify their first place, seating at the top of the bracket.
So, the end of this day,
Mhm.
you have a tie. Not in the first place. There was a tie there, but I'm talking about the tie for fourth place between INTZ and Mad Lions.
Yep.
Now, there's something in common with LGD and Mad Lions. The only team they were able to beat is the team they had to play a tiebreaker against.
Yeah.
But there's a stark difference between Mad Lions and LGD. LGD won their best of 5, and Mad Lions did not.
Oh, why would that be? If I remember correctly, who were the two people playing each other in that best of 5? Because if I remember correctly, it was Mad versus LGD for the first one.
No, it was not.
It was not.
No. Mm-hmm. So the way the best of 5s works is you played the bottom two teams, you take out the last pick, and then you play the next two teams in each group, and they play best of 5, and the winner of that best of 5 crosses groups to play the second place from the other group.
Okay, so I'm just wrong. Ignore what I just said. What had happened was they actually had a close series against Supermassive, in which Supermassive had won.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is honestly what really impressed me about Supermassive, is how well they can play the series.
They can actually pull it straight to the full 5. On the opposite side, LGD faced R7 and wiped them. There was nothing really to talk about there. I watched the first game, and I was looking at R7's composition, and I was like, oh, I actually like this. It's pretty nice to see. It's still got like the aggressive bits of it. You have the Camille, you have the Galio, you have the Leona for Engage as well, the Ashe for the Global, and it's a pretty good comp, right? And then LGD maybe like fights them a little bit at the beginning of the game, and then just goes, nah, we're gonna leave. We're never gonna give you another moment to actually do anything. Oh wait, no, this wasn't the game in which I had first seen that happen. Let me see.
The two LGD series, they looked very dominant. They didn't, and it seemed like the other teams didn't really know how to play around it. And I think the number one difference between LGD in the best of ones and the LGD that we saw in knockouts was that Peanut actually played the game instead of when they were in groups and Peanut laid an egg every single effing game. Like every single effing game. I would have told you straight up Peanut is the worst player on this team until these two series. And then I'm like, okay, so Peanut just did not give a shit. That's what happened. Peanut didn't care. Peanut just sat there and was just like, it doesn't matter. And then they're like, crap, we might get eliminated. And Peanut's still like, it doesn't matter. So I don't know. Like, maybe Peanut can only pay attention in a best of 5. Maybe he just doesn't see anybody as a threat and just got really lazy until his coach was like, yo, win some games, otherwise we're going home. And then Peanut's just like, but we are home.
Oh, no. Yeah, win some games before the entire Chinese fan base decides to completely wreck you on Twitter.
Hey, look, if they had just made the COVID vaccine, we would have all been fine. But no, they had to go and win some matches.
Completely inappropriate.
Completely
inappropriate.
Oh, you don't know the joke. It's a reference to a Chinese post.
All right.
So what else is there? Oh, so after Supermassive beats Mad Lions and makes Mad Lions look like the worst team EU has ever sent to Worlds, though I'd argue there's an Origin team that takes issue with that. I just don't know. Okay. After they beat Mad Lions, they went on to play UOL. And UOL definitely looked significantly stronger. Like, they looked very strong in the best of ones, and they looked like they were still coming out with some good stuff. Ananasik looked really good. No Man's looked really good. Amut looked real consistent. Their bot lane looked pretty okay. I didn't think their bot lane was anything special. Zeitnot kept getting caught out a few times.
Yeah.
Besides that, I feel like UOL actually might be able to take some games in group stage. I don't have full confidence in them getting out, but I wouldn't be surprised if they made FlyQuest's life a living nightmare.
Well, I gotta bring that up.
You're in my podcast.
L-O-fucking-L.
Oh, man. Salt Quest will be coming if they lose on Saturday.
Oh, that would be great.
All right. A 3-0 against Supermassive. And once again, also LGD 3-0ing Legacy Esports. It didn't even feel like Legacy got to play the game. This was the series that I was thinking about, in which LGD had just drafted like the Renekton, the Graves, Twisted Fate, and I actually liked LGC's composition. Like, yeah, you have a ton of scaling there. You have the Gangplank in the top lane. As long as it doesn't get wrecked, it's fine. That didn't happen. You have the Callista down in the bot lane with the Taric. Okay, if you get a team fight, you're going to be chilling. You're going to be great. That also never happened until it was too late. It felt like LGD would just appear on the opposite side of the map wherever there was an objective, and LGC wasn't able to respond to any of it. They were just getting pulled apart. They were always a step behind. They weren't able to move anywhere in that first game. And it was, how can you scale when you're going like, oh, I need to go to both top and bot lane at the same time, but I don't know which one to go to, right? It was basically watching just chickens running around with their heads cut off.
What a kind way of saying it.
What a kind way of saying it.
You really went easy on them, and I think that's nice of you.
I'm looking at game 3 between LGD and LGC, and I'm just sitting here thinking, who picks Gangplank into Renekton? What good thing do you think is going to happen to you up there? Because Renekton is just going to melee range you and keep killing you. over and over again. And Nidalee isn't able to help you against that. Because what's she going to do? Chuck a spear and hope it lands? Like, come on. I don't... Like, they picked 3 team fighting champions in Galio, Kalista, and Tarek. But then they have a late game farmer on Gangplank who's kind of split pushing with a little bit of team fight. And then you have a pick champ like Nidalee. What is Nidalee doing in this comp? Why would you pick Nidalee here?
Vibing. Contributing nothing but good energy.
If they had Renekton, I think this is a pretty good comp because you have crazy side lane pressure, crazy objective control. But they don't. They don't have Renekton. They don't have an aggressive top laner. They have Gangplank, which means you can't play the top side for 25 minutes. They have fucking Kalista Tarek bot lane, which needs to be self-sufficient for 15 minutes. And then you have Galio, who has nowhere to go because the bot lane can't get help and the top lane can't get help. So you have to go invade the jungle, and guess what? He dies. Like, why would you pick this? Why would you make this comp? This is an awful comp that needed one different champion to make it a good comp.
I will also say, I was watching the mid lane matchup as well, where it was GA versus player name is loading.
Tally. Tally.
And they were facing off against each other, and every single time Tally was just underneath that turret and not unable to roam.
Oh yeah, he kept that man at 200 HP, and he was not allowed to go higher.
There was a time when he had been forced like below 200 HP. Tally backed and then TP'd over and then got chunked again and had to back. It was not a good matchup for him.
Galio is an anti-mage playing into Twisted Fate. I don't...
That hurts. That hurts a lot.
Why does it hurt? I don't get it. Can someone explain it to me?
Because you have Nidalee jungle and you should in theory be able to camp the shit out of him. You know how much lockdown Galio has? Oh.
And if you can't pull that out against the Twisted Fate, oh my god. If you basically have a useless global that just can't roam. It's just in the mid lane sitting there. Oh, that was a terrible time for Tally. Alright. Well, that's about concludes it, I want to say. Those were our 2 series. Is there anything else you want to say?
I had one question about group.
Where are
about
the good players? No, I'm kidding.
The good players. How do we feel about the 4th seeds in play-ins? So that's LGD and Mad Lions. Mad Lions got eliminated, and LGD almost got eliminated. And when they almost got eliminated, it looked pretty fucking close. So how are we feeling on these guys? Do we think it's a good addition? Do we think EU and LPL being the only one with 4th seed is the bad thing? Do we think that in general we should change how a lot of the seeding is done? What do you think?
Hey, I'm going to ignore your question, and I'm going to let you know that despite the fact that I'm looking at Discord right now in all of your games, I just noticed you had something taped to your shirt. Anyway, it's been like a good 30 to 45, and it literally just didn't track.
Oh no, I took it off like 20 minutes ago, that's it.
That's still not good, because I've been looking at you and Haymant for like 20 minutes, and I still didn't know. It's literally Discord is full screened. All I'm looking at on one monitor is you two, and on the other monitor it's the fucking doc, and I'm an idiot. I don't know.
The keen eye of Matt's analysis right here.
Easy clap.
So yeah, how are we feeling about these 4 seeds?
I was a bit disappointed in Mad Lions. I wanted them to show up a bit more. I don't think it was bad that EU still had a 4th. I'm not sure if you can put another region's 4th seed and say, oh, then they would have performed better.
I mean, NA's 4th team would have been Cloud9.
That is a fair point. C9 probably could have done the job.
I think C9 would have obliterated Mad Lions and their record. I think if C9 was 4th seed in any of these groups, they get out first. I think they don't drop a game.
Which version of C9?
Oh, C9 that would be going to Worlds.
So the worst version.
So you're talking about the post-split C9.
The one that had problems with their jungler, that one.
That one. Okay. For LGD, we did see them drop the BO1s, but then you saw them perform during their best of 5 series. So that one's a little bit. I'm a bit happier with how the representatives for LPL's fourth seed performed. That's kind of about it. I don't have any major thoughts on the issue.
Who would have been fourth? Oh, T1 would have been fourth for Korea.
I would have been very happy seeing T1 over there.
I know you're talking about the team, but I was hoping. In my head, I was imagining just Tyler One playing.
Tyler One shows up and he just played five Dravens.
Yeah, and he's got like the Korean flag on his back, like a cape, and he's just screaming, "Let's go!" And he's just like playing, like, because it's just funnier that way, you know.
Oh yeah, that would. Oof.
Team T1 right there.
I will die laughing if Tyler One gets a T1 sponsorship. That would be amazing.
He was in a couple videos with fakers. T1 indeed.
I'm just sitting there like if I'm Tyler One's agent, I'm trying to be like, I gotta get out of this contract so I can get in the right contract with the right team. It's like it's just.
Who's he on contract with now?
I have no idea. He's probably with a different thing. I don't actually follow Tyler One's Twitch career because why would I follow Tyler One's Twitch career?
Hey, I want you to know, him and Faker went to the Heart Attack Cafe together in Las Vegas.
That's really funny.
Was Double there with them? I think Double's had lunch with Faker at All Stars.
No. This was on the T1 YouTube channel. You would have had to follow them. Mm-hmm. That was the only.
Or you could go back and look at it now.
That's true. That is true. But that would be everything, I'd have to say. Yeah.
So Matt, as a C9 fan, do you think that all 4 of the major regions should get 4 seeds into Worlds?
I don't know.
You're not a real C9 fan.
I mean, like, I'm not gonna say yeah just because it would be convenient for me.
Hey, there was a rumor that you were gonna go to Worlds.
And that would have been sick, but like I don't know.
I had to take down my sign.
I'm sure they're doing this for. I don't know how they came up with this actually, and I'm maybe hesitant to say that they're doing it for a reason because I remembered what we were talking about. But I don't know. Like fuck it, right? Wouldn't the tournament be hella long if they added another bunch of seeds?
Well, the idea would be that they. Well, not necessarily. You could do it in less games. You'd have to make bigger knockouts. Or not knockout, group stages. And then you just knock them out there.
I mean, yes, but there's just some regions that you still want represented here. Unfortunately, Vietnam wasn't able to make it this year. I would have been very happy to see them within the group stages, or even getting like their first seed straight into, instead of playing straight into groups, right? That would have been something I would have looked forward to.
If we still had all 4 of the groups, what would have happened is PSG would have probably been a toss-up, but if they got UOL or the Vietnamese team in there, maybe Supermassive, the TL, Mad Lions, and LGG all would have topped their group, and everybody would have made it out. It would have been either a Vietnamese team or I think it would have been basically UOL, PSG, or Vietnam. I don't think Turkey can beat all 3 of them. I think they might be able to take it against one of them, but that's a chance. So, I feel like this actually created more turmoil in the promotion to groups, which honestly is a lot more fun.
You just like chaos.
I love chaos. It's so much fun to watch people have no idea what to do. Speaking of chaos, group stage. Hang on.
Group stage indeed.
Need to bring up the group lists. Also switch over to our group predictions. Graphics up on screen. Here we are. Alright. So, we're going to go through this group by group. Going over our predictions. Let me actually pause this so we can go through them one by one. Oh, whoops, I didn't pause the right one. Okay. Should be paused now. Yes, and I can page back and forth. All right. Let's start off with Group A, the logical choice. You got G2 Esports in the first seed, Machi Esports in, which I think is actually the third seed, but they're listed second here. Sunning from China's third seed, and Team Liquid from NA's first seed. Say a prayer for Team Liquid.
Rip.
All right. Then, all right. So here, let's just go right into this group. Haymant, you have picked Sunning to get second out of this group, whereas me and Matt have picked Team Liquid. Why do you think Sunning are going to get out of this group second?
The only reason that I did that was just because they were LPL's third seed, and I favor LPL just a bit more. It's a personal bias, more of that in that case towards the region of them being, well, overly aggressive and very good at team fighting. I'm not necessarily sure if TL can keep up with that pace. I'm pretty sure G2 has shown in the past that they absolutely can. Against LCK, against LPL teams, it's not something that I'm worried about for them. But TL is a bit more of the question mark for me. Is the third seed from LPL better than NA's first? Well,
It's the NA's third seed.
NA's third.
The third seed from LPL has, I think, never been better than NA's first seed when they've been in the group together.
Oh,
so, there's that.
Okay, a little bit. Okay.
So, I feel like LPL is extremely overhyped, and I do not think they are as dominating as people say they are. I don't think Korea is as dominating as people say they are. I don't think EU is as dominating as people say they are. But I do think G2 is going to come out into this group stage and probably just start swinging. I don't think they're going to hold back their random crazy bullshit they like to do. I think they're going to try to pull it out on Machi. I think they're going to try to pull it out on Sunny. And I think they're going to try to go for late against TL. And I think they're going to be better than all of them at those play styles, and they're going to probably 6-0, 5-1 this group. I think they might lose a game to either Sunning or Team Liquid, but I think they will absolutely clobber Machi. I don't have much faith in Machi. I've never had much faith in LMS outside of Flash Wolves and maybe AHQ sometimes, but Flash Wolves were the only team that ever looked competitive from that region, and I just can't put any sort of stock in them. So
I'm gonna
what?
play a little bit of a devil's advocate for G2. They were very slow starting off at the beginning of the season and didn't look like they really had an idea of how they wanted to play. Even with the same players, even with Caps being one of the best mid laners in the world, he's had his performances even since his days on Fnatic. And it didn't really show that they were bringing it together until about playoffs and during the last couple of series. If you remember previously, something that you had just said, they lost to Mad Lions too, right? Before they actually woke up and started winning again. Do you think there's any chance that G2 might just be upset in this group?
I mean, to say there's no chance to be an outright lie, they could actually just go total boom. I think there's a potentiality for almost every team, especially the Western teams that had to fly across the world to get here and had to go through a lot of quarantine, to have lots of problems personally. Like with this, it's hard to. I will never be able to say that, especially this year, that this team will not buster out. But I don't think they'll finish below second if they do underperform. I feel like this group is pretty easy for them to get out of. I think it's a pretty open and shut case that G2 are getting out it somehow. I think the other spot for getting out is up in the air a little bit. I know a lot of people are pulling for Sunning, but being the third seed from LPL, looking at how LGG performed in best of ones, I don't know if Sunning's going to perform any better. Why did my client just make noise?
All right. Is it maybe a bit of hope considering how Tactical's been performing, how Impact's recently been performing within the group stages? He had that great Mordekaiser game, which we all saw and was just dumbfounded that he actually woke up that much. Do you think that now, at least Impact, if he keeps up his form, would be able to match most of the top laners in this Worlds playoffs? And do you think Tactical is still going to keep on up that performance throughout these most recent group stages from his performance from the play-ins?
I think Tactical and Impact have been the bright and Core JJ have been the bright spots for Team Liquid, and I think they will probably continue to perform. I worry about Broxa and Jensen. The hilarious part about dropping Xmithy is they wanted to become a mid-jungle oriented team. They have still failed to do that. They have not achieved that in any of their games that I have seen. So, I don't think they should be playing to that. They need to be playing for top lane early pressure, middle game bot lane, and mid lane is probably playing supportive champions like Galio or Orianna or maybe some Twisted Fate. Because Jensen does not look like he is in a state to hard carry from the last 3 months of games I've seen him play.
Okay.
I agree. But, maybe he just turns it on or something. Who knows? I mean, unlikely, but you never know.
What would you... No. I was going to ask, what would you think about Jensen breaking out an Echo right now?
I don't want to have flashback. No,
Got it.
Flashbacks.
I guess it's like if he, can play it, it's fine. But he can play it, but if he can play it, right?
Do you think that maybe? Well, we saw Broxa bring out the Lilia to little effect. Do you think that maybe Team Liquid has had some picks that maybe Jensen has been thinking about, or even Core JJ? I think actually, never mind. Core JJ has such a wide champion pool. It's not really that he's going to just pull out a surprise pick that's going to astound anyone, unless he brings out a Zyra or something.
I mean,
right?
They've been playing Rakan, and I think Rakan is probably one of the best supports of this tournament. He's just got so much good engage and control, and even without Xayah, he synergizes pretty well. If Xayah was a little stronger, I'd feel like his priority would probably be double. He'd be first ban instead of Caitlyn. Or who's first ban? Right, Orin's first ban. He would be first ban instead of Orin, but look, any team that doesn't ban Ornn on red side, you're just asking for an ass kicking.
All right.
I think that
back.
TL will probably be I think they're ahead of the meta right now. Coming out of coming out of play-ins, it's definitely it definitely looks like it's kind of like tanks in the top lane, a good bot lane control, and an aggressive jungler. My only problem with that is that I don't think TL has the agency in the mid lane, as I've said. Okay. But I think that Core JJ actually has enough power to carry this team by himself. I think Core JJ has been playing out of his mind. Core JJ and Impact are al dente.
Core JJ, Tactical,
Did you just say they're al dente?
Al dente.
Al dente.
Well done.
Okay. All right. Moving on to Group
B. Al dente.
Wait, Matt, what's your take on this? Wait,
What's my take on what?
The Group A.
Pretty cringe for you to ask questions, but I'll humor you this time. I think G2. I mean, you and I have the same picks. I think G2 obvious. I think that's obvious. So I'm not going to talk about it. TL, I do think it's better than SN, if even only marginally, or maybe by a lot. I don't really know yet, but I'm just not sure. I don't fucking know. But yeah, and I think that even though they maybe don't have the mid control right now, I don't think it's off the table. Jensen is a very good player, and maybe he can't completely change his style or consistency in a week or two, but he can definitely he can perform at an extremely high level, and even if they continue to play around him, I think they'll be okay, although it might just be a little bit better to not, but I think that TL is probably an easy second.
One of the good things about him is that at least he can still pull out a Twisted Fate, which has been one of the very popular picks among this group stage currently. At least I know it's GA's favorite pick, and some other teams do favor it.
What was I gonna say? I lost it. All right, let's move on to Group B. Gotta
All
keep the
right.
show moving. All right, we got Damwon Gaming, who is the first seed from Korea. You got Gen.G Gaming, who's the second seed from China. PSG, who is the second seed from PCS, and Rogue, who is the third seed from EU. I am looking at it. All right. Now, let me move this over. Boop. Haymant has Damwon Gaming getting first place over JD Gaming. Why is that?
Most likely because of the roster. Let me double check that one more time. They do have Noguri in the top lane, Canyon, Showmaker, Ghost, and Barrel. Showmaker is an absolutely astounding mid laner. I love him for it. Right? He's great. Canyon has historically been an absolutely great jungler. If you remember, he was on I'm forgetting the name of the challenger team that
That's
literally
not a
just
team
came
name.
up.
Is not a team name, Haymant.
You're absolutely not
TNT
right.
T-Mobile.
God damn. Ghost and Barrel, I've watched their bot lane before. They're great. There's maybe only one question mark, and it's Noguri in the top lane. But otherwise, the roster across the board is familiar names that I know, and I'm pretty sure are going to do very well at this at Worlds. That's why I put him first.
All right. Matt, why do you think Rogue is last place?
I coin flipped PSG and Rogue. I thought that I was right about the first two, and then when it came to the second two, I went, it could go either way. And then I just did it. I just guessed.
I can definitely agree that it seems really close. I think there's potential for Rogue to get to third. I think there's even potential for them to take a game off of Damwon or JD. I don't think they can take a game off of both though. I just don't have a lot of faith in Rogue being consistent enough. I kind of think I feel like Talon coming out of play-ins like that, they might be a little more motivated. They might have a little more confidence coming into this, and I think that'll probably put them over Rogue. But I do think it's very close, and I think this could easily go the other way. I do think that JD is like a big contender for the title. I think they're like second or third for this title, and that's why I put them. That's why I put them first in this group. I'm not as confident in Damwon, but I don't think they're. I think they're another contender for the title. I can't exactly place them, but it's. I feel like JD's gonna beat them. That's just a gut feeling.
Okay.
I just guessed.
All right, if I were to give you a little bit of background information,
Are you talking to me now?
Yes.
I see.
Okay, Rogue. During their split in EU, they were also one of the contenders for number one earlier in the split. However,
they get it?
No.
So what did they look like at the end of the split? Because you made it very clear that it was at the beginning of this split. And let me tell you what, Haymont, the beginning of the split is the farthest point away from Worlds you can get.
No, that's the beginning of Spring Split, or maybe even a few
well,
years ago.
but it's the Spring Split doesn't matter, and you know that.
They look like they're.
That was just to hurt you.
Even though their mid laner Larson is probably one of the better control mages within the mid lane, and their top laner Finn is also pretty good at his carries.
Wait, Larson plays hyper carries. What are you talking about? Did you not watch the G2 series? He was the only player that looked good in that series. He was playing like a Kali and killing 3 people while his team died.
3 rookie numbers.
I was gonna say something about his Akali first, but during the split it didn't look that great.
If I pick Akali, I only get penta kills. Never in a point in the game where I get fewer than 5 kills at a time.
Mm-hmm.
3 is a rookie number.
Yeah. However, the problem with Rogue is that their team is sometimes exploitable. It just is. Do you think that PSG would be able to capitalize on that? Actually,
well,
PSG's
how are they exploitable? Because you didn't make it. You didn't explain how they were exploitable.
I didn't make it very clear.
And that's going to affect whether I think PSG can do it.
It seems that Larson in the mid lane, while yes, he does have his hyper carries, he has the Irelia and the Akali. It seems that his control mages aren't as great as they should be, and it doesn't seem like the team knows how to play around it. However, they still do favor playing those control mages most of the time in the mid lane. Do you think this might affect their performance during the group stages? Do you think like maybe
yeah, probably
PS
if he can't play it as well, you know.
Do you think that maybe PSG, which has had some interesting picks, might be able to bring out something surprising that might throw Rogue off?
I don't know.
It's hard to say because they're swapping out 2 more players.
Yeah,
that is
that's a
also
difficult question to answer right now, my man.
that is a fair point. All right.
And to be honest, I think if we start whipping out crazy shit in group stage, it'll probably create more problems for a team than it'll solve. Like the only teams that have ever actually succeeded by doing crazy stuff is Albus Luna and Gigabyte Marines.
What about G2?
That's a different kind of crazy.
Fair play.
Like the Gigabyte Marines focused on hyper feeding their jungler, and then Albus Luna just picked straight cheese. They picked like Blitzcrank and went and did Blitzcrank invades. They would just walk up, grab red buff, and walk away. It's like that's how you piss off the jungler. It's how you put them behind, and it's so obnoxious. It works, but it's like it only works once because you got to do it again, and you're like, oh, I walked over a ward. Now there are 4 people about to kill me. Like, you know, I just feel like you're trying to get out of this group. You're not trying to beat Rogue. You're trying to get 2nd place in this group for PSG because there ain't nowhere they're getting first. And if you try to cheese out games against Rogue, you're just gonna lose your quarters anyways.
Okay.
I think Anthony's probably right here.
All right.
Hey, as much as I hate to admit it.
Fucking cheese picks. This is what happens. This is how H2K makes semis. Fucking Albus Nox.
LUL.
Are we ready to move on to Group C?
If we have to.
Okay, I'm gonna leave.
Okay,
nope, you gotta do it.
Alright! Alright, here it is. Here's our Group C picks. Haymant putting Gen.G first, and Matt, the resident Gen.G stan, did not put Gen.G first.
No, it's because I did these really fast. And I forgot that I was the Gen.G stan when I did them.
You were talking about it as you did them.
No, I was talking about it like 5 minutes after I did them and then thought about it and went, don't feel like changing it. I think my pick, honest to God, I think my pick'ems are going to be pretty different than what I put in this fucking chart. So
what?
Anthony, I don't know. I have no excuse here.
You're gonna ruin the integrity of this competition.
Yes.
How dare you? Okay.
Listen, as much as I want to like Gen.G, they're probably not going to win this group.
Damn. There's a lot of people saying Gen.G are gonna win out this group, but honestly,
I know, and I want them to, but
I think this group is probably the closest group out of all of the groups, and probably one of the closest groups we had at Worlds in a long time. This is like, I don't think TSM are necessarily worlds above Fnatic or Gen.G. LGD can just go hide in a corner. I don't have large faith in them for this group, but they need to actually turn it on to get out of this group, and I think that can happen. But it's so close, and that just looks like, I don't know, this is gonna be a fun group to watch. It'd be fun for me if TSM wasn't TSM, but TSM
they
is
are
TSM. So I need to go buy an extra large supply of Pepto so I don't develop an ulcer. I feel like TSM are gonna have it in this group. I think Gen.G is again not as strong as teams thought or saying they are. They beat T1, but T1 wasn't looking that strong. T1 was looking really shaky. They kept swapping out their mid laner. They put Faker
plus,
back
like,
in
T1's
for
just
for
a
the
dude,
playoffs.
so like of course the team. I'm gonna keep writing this one.
Faker is one man.
No, I was talking about the Draven player.
Yeah, T1.
Hey.
The T1 team. Team T1.
I'm gonna keep writing this into the dirt. Don't worry.
T1.
So somebody made a post with all the like nationalities and records of all the teams, and like every single team has these strong dominating records against their region. It's like 12-4, 16-3. It's so much dominant. And then you get to Fnatic and they're 9-9.
LUL.
That is honestly why I think TSM is going to get first in this group, and why I do think there's strong potential for Gen.G to come in second. I think that is a very strong possibility, and I will not be shocked if that happens. But I do think Fnatic, I think Reckless is here to win. I think Reckless is going to spend every waking moment and every ounce of energy he has for the next, like, the last month and 2 weeks, 3 weeks ahead of time we're about to see, playing League of Legends to his best ability because he wants to win this fucking tournament. He got a taste of the final and got clapped. Then he had to watch G2 go get a taste of the final and get clapped. Now it's his turn to go back, get a taste of the final, and get clapped again. That's what he wants, and that's what he's gunning for.
Okay, but standing in his way is a ruler on the opposite side. You can't sleep on the former world champion.
I found a typo. Okay. Alright.
What's the typo?
I have Gen twice.
Uh-oh.
Alright, so on Haymant's sheet, the second gen is actually LGD, and then the bottom one is Fnatic. I made a boo-boo.
First of all, how dare you?
Stinky.
Nope.
Stinky.
So Haymant, why do you think Fnatic's finishing last?
I've been particularly impressed with Fnatic, and they're willing to pull out a zillion top lane. I'm not spoiled about
Honestly, I respect that, brother.
That's a good one.
That I didn't think I had to end my argument there, but if you just want that, I'm not completely sold. I haven't been particularly impressed with Nemesis. He's had some standout performances, but honestly, still not too amazing to my taste. Right? I'm not 100% hitting on him for that one. And Selfmade's a good jungler. Reckless is still good as always, but it's just Broxa has been pulling out the zillion top lane. And Nemesis, I feel like, even though, yeah, you see him get all these leads, all of a sudden he makes one play and then it's just a throw. Right? It's just I'm not sold on FNC.
I feel like they're gonna use a lot of this time to level up and probably improve. I think that them G2 are gonna be like hyperbolic time chambering with each other and trying to figure out, because I think that those two alone they can definitely get some work done if they put themselves together. I agree that Fnatic aren't the strongest team EU's ever produced. They're definitely not the 2017 Fnatic that went to the final, but I think they can get out of this group. I think there's a very, very strong possibility they get out of this group, and that's why I put them second. But I don't know, I feel like you're being a little too down on them.
Perhaps. The position that I do like within this group is the junglers. We do have Clid. He was a former SKT jungler at the time when they won LCK last split. We now have TSM bringing in... you're going to have to remind me of his name because I'm blanking on it right now. Bring in Spica. One of the junglers that, honestly, they've actually been playing around and have put a lot of faith into during the regular split. And, of course, we have Peanut on LGD, which is a 50-50. Either he shows up and he's just battle warding, or he's just asleep at the wheel. So, given these collection of junglers, what do you think?
I think the best two junglers in the group are Spica and Clid. That's assuming Peanut keeps playing like he played in groups instead of actually playing the game. Because Peanut looks so hot and cold to me right now. I can't even put... What do I do with this, Peanut? Tell me what to do with you! Because you just can't... You can't just only show up for the fucking knockouts and expect me to have faith in you and say you're a good jungler. Like, I don't get it. Congratulations! You beat OCE in Japan! God damn it. But look, Spica out of playoffs looked like the best jungler in NA. He out jungled Broxa. He out jungled Blabber. He out jungled who is FlyQuest Santorin. Like the dude's crazy. I think he's gonna destroy. I think he's gonna do really well. I think he's gonna take it to them. They're gonna give him. I think they're gonna prioritize like Renekton, Nidalee a lot, and then just roll with that because that looked crazy. Renekton, Nidalee, Renekton Elise, whatever the hell they can get their hands on, they're gonna roll with that. If Nidalee is not permabanned against TSM, whoever's playing against them is gonna fucking lose because that pick looks crazy on Spica.
Okay, let's move on to the top lane. Also Zillion. Oh, that is a fair point. Let me see. Gen.G's top laner is currently
Rascal.
All right.
Never heard of Rascal before, by the way.
Never heard of Rascal.
He's from King's Zone.
I don't want to say. I don't think he's an amazing top laner in Korea, at least. I think he's a serviceable top laner, but I don't think he's an amazing standout top laner. Which brings me to my other point. How do you think Broken Blade, who had a absolutely amazing playoffs performance, would fare into Broxa, who I'm not very hyped on? Lang.
You mean Bwippo. You've been saying Broxa this whole time.
Oh my god, have I?
Yes.
Yes.
I thought I heard you say Broxa before, but I didn't want to bring it up.
Okay. Bwippo, who's been in the top lane, who hasn't been as hot.
Did you mean Broxa?
Yes. Lang X from LGD, who's been famous for absorbing most of these aggressive top laners and has a reputation to prove against it being from the LPL.
We can't take what happened in play-ins as anything because, dear Lord, was... Oh.
No. I'm just talking about in the LPL. And then Rascal, who's a servable top laner within Korea, but not an amazing one.
I'm not too sure how strong Broken Blade is going to be against all these top laners. I don't think Lang X is that strong. He does look like he can play weak side pretty okay, but I definitely feel like TSM play a good strong side top side, and I don't think weak side top side is the meta at all right now. I think strong side top side with a roaming mid laner, that's just how you play League of Legends at the moment. And if you're playing a weak side top side, you're gonna have a bad time. You're gonna get out rotated. The other team's gonna have a free bot lane, probably because you're trying to gank it, and the bot lane's playing to just absorb pressure instead of actually make advantages. Unless they're playing Kalista, in which case you're just feeding Kalista more kills. So okay. I think Broken Blade's carry style is pretty good. I think it'll be a pretty good contest to watch Broken Blade versus Bwippo. I'm not too well researched on Rascal, but he looks pretty okay giving his results with Gen.G, but I don't think I don't know if he's the best top lane in this group. I do not know who the best top lane in this group is, and we'll have to actually see them play against each other.
Okay. All right. I haven't really posed that many questions for Fnatic, so just as the last one, how do you think Reckless is going to perform, and is it enough for Fnatic to secure that second spot that you have them placed?
So this group has Ruler, Reckless, and Doublelift. I think they're three of some of the best AD carries at this tournament. I think Ruler might actually be the best AD carry at this tournament. And if Reckless and Doublelift can contend with Ruler, then I feel like it's going to be an easy clap against Gen.G. I feel like Gen.G are really relying on Ruler being really strong. And if they can't get Ruler off the ground, they're just gonna have a problem. They're gonna have no idea what to do. They look like they kind of play like Team Liquid. I'm not too well researched on them, so I don't know exactly what kind of games they play. But they're looking at who's on their team. It does not strike me as a top lane focused team.
Okay. All right.
Like how I pivoted that to negging on Gen.G instead of saying anything about Reckless.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna pin you on it.
I've also already said a bunch about Reckless. How I think he really just wants to win this tournament. Is probably gonna play as hard as he fucking can.
I think there's at least 3 motivated competitors within the bottom lane. I think maybe 4. Kramer's question mark for me on LGD. He's been like a consistent performer within the AD carry role. He is also a former world was he on the Samsung
Kramer?
Blue?
No.
Not Samsung Galaxy, but like Samsung Blue. Bless you. Our Samsung
no,
White.
he's from LMS. He was on the Africa's team that got beat by C9.
Okay. I do remember that because it was Kramer Intuition. All right. I may be misremembering things.
And he played for Flash Wolves for a lot.
Okay. All right. Well, there's at least 3 motivated AD carries within this group, that being Ruler, Double Lift, and Reckless, who are definitely going to try to compete from the bot lane.
Yeah, I definitely think bot lane's got a lot of star power in it this series. I am hoping that Doublelift can not get Uzi syndrome that he normally gets. That Uzi's gone. Thank God. Doublelift can finally play some League of Legends. Every year he has to play against fucking Uzi and gets his shit rocked. Oh God.
A position that I did skip over was actually the mid lane.
Bergson is the best mid laner in this group, bar none.
Bjergsen is the best.
Bar none. Let's make one thing clear. Bjergsen is the best mid laner, and he has the best champion pool. Just saying.
All right. I'm going to ask not how Bjergsen is going to fare against GA, because that would say that GA has the upper hand. But I'm going to instead ask, how will GA perform against Bjergsen? We did see it. Okay.
Damn.
That's a solid answer.
Look, we got to see him beat fucking the OCE mid laner. That's who he dominated. He got to beat the LLA mid laner. Who cares? That's not Bjergsen. Did you see how Bjergsen was playing in playoffs? He was destroying everybody by himself. He was 1v9ing every goddamn series, and fucking Broken Blade's actually playing well. Like, that's saying something. When you 1v9 a game, when you have players who are performing as well. Like, oh my God. Bjergsen is going to destroy mid lane this group stage. I'm not, like... Somebody come back at me with this after this group stage and be like, haha, I told you so, because you're going to be wrong. You can't do it. I have nothing to lose, and I love it.
Fair enough. He does seem like the measuring stick within mid lane for this particular group.
Yep.
Okay.
Alright, we got one group left. Wait, hang on, Matt. One more time. Why the hell can't you just be a Gen.G stan? Come on.
Because...
I needed to make fun of you.
I see. Well, you know.
Alright.
We're
moving on to Group D, where we're all unanimously in agreement. But I have to ask, Haymant, how can you let down FlyQuest like that?
The unfortunate part is because it's just, there's top esports right there. There's the representative. It's even in the acronym. Top of the group. Jackie Love on the roster. The #1 seed from the LPL. You can't put him down below that. And then we go, who I put into second over there, DRX. Bringing out Deft as their bottom laner. Very impressive just by himself. Let me bring up the rest of the DRX roster. Hold on just a minute.
They got Doran in the top lane, Pyosik in the jungle, Chovy in the mid lane, Deft at AD carry, Kara at support, and CV Max is their coach.
Keria, an insane support as well. I think Ignar could probably fare very well against him. But what I'm more concerned about is Chovy in the mid lane and how PoE will fare against him. And even more concerning than that, how will Wild Turtle fare against Deft?
So
there are many question marks for FlyQuest and where they can actually perform in this lane. Solo has never been at an international competition. This is his first time actually showing up here. So he's also a question mark. I don't know who top laner is.
But 369.
369. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about him, so I also can't say whether Solo is going to perform that well against him. But he also doesn't really have that many counter picks. If you remember, during the series, FlyQuest versus TSM, he pulled out a Gangplank. And do you know what the LPL really likes doing? Shitting
Gank
on.
top.
Yeah.
This is why Dyrus will never play for an OPL team.
Unfortunately, if we're looking realistically, against top esports, even if he does play a good weak side, they're especially good at punishing a weak side. And
So-
it doesn't look like he has any counter picks to bring out.
Okay. I think top esports have this group first seed 6-0. With no
Damn.
contest, there's no like question about it. There's no changing my mind about that. I think that actually gives FlyQuest a shot, because if FlyQuest can 2-0 Unicorns of Love, take one game off of DRX, and then win the tiebreaker, they're out. I think that is their ideal scenario to get out of this group. They only need to win one game against an actually competitive team. I'm just... but I honestly think that their chances went down by Mad Lions not getting out. Because Unicorns of Love look like they have a little bit more of an idea about what they want to do as a team, and they're more willing to do crazy shit by comparison to Mad Lions. So I think that might catch FlyQuest off guard, but at the same time, I think FlyQuest will individually be able to outperform Unicorns of Love. I don't think any of their players are better. I think that FlyQuest should 2-0 them, given if all things are equal. But it's hard to say. They haven't been playing for the last week, so I don't know how their scrims have been going. Maybe we have a C9 go boom. Maybe we have a C9 go boom boom. Like they just get to semis out of nowhere.
I'm hoping that it's the second one.
That'd be great, yeah. Mostly because I love watching Korea not make it out of groups. I hope that FlyQuest can make that a reality. I don't think they will. I think that DRX will be able to outperform them on an individual level, just like they'll outperform Unicorns. I think it's going to be a 4-2 for DRX. Like I'm so confident in these numbers because I'm so confident that Top Esports is going to 6-0 this group. I've heard a lot of people have been giving this argument where because the first place is probably going to be 6-0, it means that there's a lot more contention to get second place. Because if the top seed goes like 4-2 or 5-1, odds are that the second seed is the one that took that game off them, which makes it impossible to get it 3-3. So that's the best way that FlyQuest get out of this group. Matt,
I would.
how do you
if
feel
there's
about
one
So
FlyQuest?
hold on, what was Haymant about to say?
If there's one thing that I can say, I think that Solo might be the only one who... I'm not Solo. A Santorin might be the only one who can compete on an international level with these teams. If I compare
not
him
Power of
to...
Evil, the guy who almost beat SKT. Or ignore the guy who almost beat SKT.
Actually, you're right. Ignar, BDD, you're right. You did check me on that. I do think Ignar can perform at an international level. I do think PoE... I'm not absolutely sold on PoE either. I think he's definitely almost at the international level. I'm not sure if he's actually there. I think that Santorin's probably right there at the international level, and I want to see how he performs. He's facing against Kyoshik and Karsa. Two pretty reputable jugglers in their own right, but I don't think they're that far ahead of him, or that he's that far behind them. I think he could probably manage them. That's all.
I look forward to watching Knight manhandle everybody. Matt, what's your take on this group? How you feeling?
I liked Haymant's side there. I think FlyQuest probably isn't getting out. I mean, I wasn't going to call the no games lost top, but I do
Really?
think top. Yeah, because I didn't pay attention to the other teams in it. I think it's probably. I think it's definitely top number one, and I think DRX is the easy second, and I don't think UOL stack or FlyQuest stack up to either. I'd be kind of surprised if UOL beats Fly, but I guess I could see it happening. But I think this is just like a pretty cut and dry group as these things go.
Mm-hmm. I think this is probably the most probably cemented group out of all of them. I don't know why people call this the group of death. I guess because it has DRX and Top in it, but like they might have had fucking Top and Fnatic and although I guess if you swap Fnatic and DRX, I might be like, Jesus Christ, what the hell do I do? Because FlyQuest can get out of that group.
True.
Yeah. The thing is that the two top teams are just so competitive, or actually, let me see, are performing at a level that you wouldn't expect anyone else to be. Like if your
they're contenders for top 4, both of them.
Yes. So like if you were to put any other team against them, like if you were to instead take out swap out like FlyQuest for JD Gaming. JD was the one who actually lost to Top Esports in
Be
in a
careful
best
that
of
you don't
5.
make something real bad where you put all the Chinese teams in this group and be like, yeah, it's the most competitive group ever, because you can't put any Chinese teams in with Chinese teams in groups.
That is very true. If you were to substitute TSM into that roster, even though I think Bjergsen's the best player and can perform at an international level, I think Spica could probably perform there.
So wait. Are you swapping top for TSM or fly for TSM?
Fly for TSM.
Okay. We're breaking all the rules here, just saying, but that's fine.
Yes. But I don't think that Double Lift could compete with Jackie Love and Deft. I don't think that Biofrost can compete with the supports that are there. I think Carrier is a very great support for DRX. I'm blanking on who the support is for Top Esports, but he's got Jackie Love. All right, there's a if you got that much of a talent. Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, hang on. Let me see if they have the pronunciations for this one. It does. Oh wait, here it is.
预言家
Yuyinjia.
Yuyinjia.
Apparently, that's what the pronunciation on the wiki says. The stream got to hear it.
Okay. Doran is actually a pretty good top laner as well. He has his own. He was here last year. I think they had to play through the play-ins though.
Okay.
The team that he was on.
No, there's a thing. Doran was supposed to play on Griffin, but the upper management over CV Max said that they wanted somebody else. I forget who. Was it Sword?
Sword was the person that they like swapped out between for Griffin.
Yeah, I think it was Sword. Sword was the guy that they put in over Doran.
I think Doran actually performed on the international stage, I think.
Let me check.
Because I think it was actually the opposite way around. I think that they went with Sword most of the time because he was part of the original roster, and then they brought in Doran to perform.
I don't think it's one of those ways, but whatever happened is he was involved in that controversy, and that blew the fuck up.
Oh yeah, that blew up the Griffin roster if I remember correctly. Some good pieces were lost there.
No, what happened was they didn't even bring Doran. They brought Huya.
They didn't even bring Doran.
Don't know why this one showed me the rosters. Event.
Active Huya, Sword, Citrus, Mayhew.
Yeah.
Okay,
they didn't even play Huya. They played Sword the entire time. So yeah, Doran got shafted, and that caused the whole kerfuffle.
Huh. Tara.
Absolute shit show of an org, by the way.
It's wild. When they came in, they were just super hot.
Yeah, they didn't. The first year they didn't get to go to Worlds because they didn't have enough championship points. But at the same time, everyone's like, "No, they deserve to go to Worlds." Well, they didn't win the split, so clearly they're not the best team.
Oh man, they did lose to SKT, but the split that they arrived, my God, were they dominant. It was just the playoffs where they didn't actually win.
Is there anything else we have to say about Group D before we move on?
No, I think it's cut and dry.
Okay.
Under the sea.
Stop it, dude. Why are you doing this?
Because so FlyQuest is going to make third right underneath there.
Anyway, Anthony, let's get this shit together.
All right, I got one question for us before we go to the outro. Who is going to win Worlds?
Who's gonna win Worlds?
Gen.G.
Gen.G. Resident Gen.G standout here.
Who didn't put them in the top 2.
Who doesn't even think they're going to get out of their group?
Still gonna come back and win Worlds. It's gonna be insane. It's
They're
gonna
come
bonkers.
out back from the dead as the Omega boss you got to beat. So, Haymant, who do you think is going to win Worlds?
Maybe this is the G2 year. Maybe this is the time.
Y'all are fucking crazy. All right, man. I'm gonna give you one more shot before I give the real answer.
Your real answer is dumb as shit, and I already know that.
Okay.
Fuck. Let me think about this. Something I don't want to ever do. Kind of cringe, to be honest, but I have no fucking idea. I have no fucking clue.
All right. Fine. Here we go. My pick for the team who is going to win Worlds. It starts with a T. It's got the best mid laner in the region. It's got the best AD carry in the region.
Team Liquid?
No.
LGD.
Your tactical isn't.
It starts with a T.
Fnatic?
Yeah.
It's Top Esports.
Oh.
FlyQuest. Got it.
So you think you put UOL first, but you think they're gonna come out and win it? I don't get your picks, brother.
Me neither.
I said Top Esports. What?
Yeah, you said UOL. I don't.
You guys are jerks.
Yes.
Bro's gonna win it all?
Top Esports is the only logical conclusion. Thank you for ruining my question, Matt. I am out of topics.
You want to take us home, brother?
Thank you. I'm already home. That'll do it for the play-in stage and group draw predictions and Legendary League of Legends podcast. You can catch the VODs on my YouTube channel. You can catch us here. I don't effing know when we're going to do this next because it's such a clusterfuck with the way groups is scheduled.
Correct.
You can catch the audio podcast on anchor.fm/LLoLP or wherever you get your podcasts. I'm trying to get on Amazon this week, I think. I need to do that. Amazon emailed me about that. Have a nice day.
Have a good night.
Oh, join our pick'ems. If you go to my chat anytime on Twitch and do the exclamation mark pick'ems, it'll pop up and you can join from there. I'll also put it in the description of wherever. Bye.